Hey there, Heather, hello there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome to another second Stone Cold Hockey video, and we're doing a tribute match today. We're doing a tribute thing to Mel Bridgman, and we will have the 1981-82 Philadelphia Flyers and the 1993-94 Ottawa Senators facing each other in a 7-game series. You may be asking why. Well, after I create the playoffs, you may be asking yourself why. Like, why these two teams? Well, considering that Mel Bridgman is actually a key central figure for the Ottawa Senators, despite the fact that I hate the Ottawa Senators with every bone in my body as a Leaf fan. But anyway, Mel Bridgman actually was a key figure for the Ottawa Senators. So as you can see on the screen, he played 14 years in the NHL. He was drafted first overall by the Flyers in 1975. Other people will be thinking, how did they get the #1 draft pick in 75? I mean, the Flyers did win the Stanley Cup that year. That is right. However, it's poignant to say that the Flyers made some shrewd dealing and all that. I think they traded with California or something. How they got it, I think. I look at the 1979 NHL draft. Yeah, from Washington. There was a trade. Washington traded the #1 pick to Philly in June 1975 to South. Bill Clement, you know him from ABC and ESPN color commentating. Don McLean, not the American Pie guy, and the first round pick. So Washington got Philly's pick and took Alex Forsythe. So Washington. Washington traded away the #1 draft pick. I'm actually surprised. But yeah, Mel Bridgman was drafted first overall from the Victoria Cougars in the Western Canadian Hockey League, the predecessor to the Western Hockey League. And then, he was pretty nosy. 977 career games, 701 points, 1,625 penalty minutes. His best offensive season was 1981-82, when he had 33 goals, 54 assists, 87 points. That's why the 82 Flyers were in this one against the Ottawa Senators. And he played for Philly and then got traded to Calgary. Oh, nuts. I forgot. I didn't know he was traded in 1982. Nuts. I might as well screw. Oh, I screwed up, eh? Nuts. I said the final team. Soy nuts. I'm gonna have to redo it. Soy nuts. And you're not allowed to edit it. That says final team. Soy nuts. Yeah, his best season was 81-82. But he was a member of the Flyers. Yeah, so we'll go 78-79 Flyers. Soy nuts. The essence of live TV. Anyhow, yeah, so we're doing the 78-79 Flyers. Yeah, 82, he got traded to Calgary. I could have played Calgary, but Mel Bridgman's more known for being the #1 pick for the Flyers. And then after 83, he left for the Devils and had a few 20-goal seasons. And then he went to Detroit and Vancouver. No other. Yeah, he was the general manager of the Ottawa Senators, the first Senators GM. Well, he went to the Wharton School of University of Pennsylvania to get his MBA. And then he was the first general manager of the modern-day Ottawa Senators of the NHL. Well, of course, Mel Bridgman may have been the first GM, and after one season, the Senators really bit the bullet. Yeah, I know the 92-93 Senators were the first one, but come on, the old 93-94 Senators. So the Ottawa Senators were built. The expansion draft was a disaster for Mel Bridgman and his crew because they forgot to bring their laptop battery to charge up their laptop, and so they lost all their information. And so they had to draft players that were crappy or they had to redraft. So anyway, we're going to do a 7-game series. We're going to autoplay till someone gets to 3. Game one saw Philly go to Ottawa win 4-1. Wayne Stevenson, the guy who had to replace Brady Perron after that eye injury, would face Craig Billington, former Devils star. Ottawa just scored in the third period. Alex Daigle, the biggest washout in history. Paul Holmgren, the Riverton rival Reggie Leach, and Bobby Clark with two scoring for the Flyers. Game two sees the Senators again lose with only scoring one goal. They made it interesting. Perron beat Billington again. Phillies goals Leach, Don Big Bird Zaleski, and Ricky McLeish. Dave McElwain for Ottawa. And Philly wins 8-2 in game three as Billington loses to Wayne Stevenson. Ottawa goes by McBain, and Alex Yashin. Philly goes by Big Bird, Clark, Leach, Bain Wilson, Bridgman. There's his goal from Hill and LaPointe. Rick LaPointe, Leach, McLeish, and Bobby Clark. All right, so it's 3-0 Flyers. Game four. So he's Bernie Perrott and Darren Mattingly coming in. So Ottawa did not really have a good goaltending core after Greg Billington. I think, yeah, that's right. They picked up Billington in a trade for Peter Sidorkiewicz. Darren Mattingly, the backup, Daniel Bethune, former Kings goalie, and Mark LaForêt, former Leaf goalie. In the crew, 79 Flyers went with 5 goalies. Wayne Stevenson, who had to come in for Bernie Perrott with his eye injury. Robbie Moore was the de facto backup. Pete Peters was a young prospect, and Rick St. Croix. The 94 Senators, kind of having flashbacks of Bridgman, had Alex Yashin, Alex Daigle, Dave McElwain. Yeah, Alex Yashin, who was good until he held out for 1 year. Daigle, who was a washout, a number one pick. Dave McElwain, Sylvain Turgeon, Pierre's brother, Andrew McBain, Dave Archibald, Troy Millette, Dan Quinn, Darren Rumble, Vladdy Rusika, former Bruin, Evgeny Davinov, former Jet, Brad Shaw, what's your name? Kerry Huffman, former Flyer, Norm McIver, former Oiler, Scott Levins, Brian Glenn, Dennis Biel, Brad Lauer, Robert Burkowski, Troy Murray, former star with the Blackhawks and Jets, Yarmo Kigulayan, Dmitry Filimonov, and Gordon Denis. Flyers with Bill Barber, Kitchener, Reggie Leach, the Riverton Rifle, Rick McLeish, doing his job, being a high-scoring winger, Mel Bridgman, that's him, Blake Dunlop, Paul Holmgren, the feisty American who scored a hat trick in the 1980 Stanley Cup Finals. Did you not know that? I don't think you did. Bobby Clark, the heart and soul of the Flyers. Bain Wilson, the bane of your existence. Tom Gorrance, Don Big Bird Zaleski, Bob Daly, Jimmy Watson, still around. Dennis Fredregart, Bob Houndown Kelly, Paul Evans, Ken the Rat Linsman, Al Hill, Barry Dean, Rick LaPointe, Dave Hoyda, Moose Dupont still around. Yves Preston, Frank Boff, and Kevin McCarthy. Here we go. 2 minutes into the game. Flyers? Nope. 2 minutes later. Progression? It's Hound Dog. Does Ottawa have a chance? Nope. Rumble can't do anything but it. Why is he on the power play? 6 minutes later. No goal. Leach had it. 5 minutes later. Ottawa, but Shaw gets hit. 2 minutes later. They score! Wonk wonk. Troy Millette Duck. Scores from Daigle and McElwain. 1-0 Ottawa. I know, you're just as shocked as I am. 4 minutes later. Flyers, oh my gosh, Bill Barber had a chance. 4 minutes later. Listen. Ottawa gets too aggressive. It's McBain. Let's see. London Bridgman's falling down. London Bridgman's falling down into the big fat net. His second from Hoyda. Happy Death Day. 4 minutes later. Holy came on. Does the game know when I said Mel Bridgman tribute series to put this guy in? London Bridgman's falling down. London Bridgman's falling down into the big fat net. From Daly makes it 2-1. 4 minutes later. You can't make this shit up. Not only is he dead, he scored twice. Now he scored 3 goals. Throw the hats on the ice from Daly and Kelly. Is this game? If I said like Alex Daga died, maybe he scores a hat trick. I don't know. You don't see that every day. There we go. Scores for liberty and justice. Paul Hogan is American, and he will score for you today. Hey, USA. Yeah, I should have did the American Dad theme. Hogan, I heard was American. Where in 1980 there was not a lot of Americans in the NHL. Not even before the American Ice. Bill Barber and Al Hill with assists. Well, Natalie basically was made into a human. Bridgman, within the space of 8 minutes 21 seconds, scores a natural hat trick. Not just a hat trick, a natural hat trick. A natural hat trick is when a player scores 3 straight goals for his team and no one else scores, not even on his own team. 5 minutes later, Russian out of skills. Yashin. His second from Dag and Levens makes it 4-2. 3 minutes later. They just score again. Wash up my ass, Dag says from McElwain 4-3. 5 minutes later. Fire stamina. Oh, great. Good. Now it's time for the empty nets. Ottawa cannot put it in the net, and the Flyers survive 4-3. Is their final. The Senators actually were good this game. They only gave up 4 goals. Well, actually, they gave up 3 goals in game 2 and lost 3-1. Matterley did okay. Barry Perron did okay, but yeah. Mel Bridgman with the natural hat trick. Hoyda, Daly, Kelly with the assists. You don't see that shit every day. That a guy, not only is dead, he has scored a hatto trick. He's done it. And Ottawa loses. So the 79 Flyers sweep the series. White Stevenson and Brittany Perron split everything 50-50 and did pretty good. McLeish and Clark both with 6 points. Mel Bridgman, 4 points, but no assists. He has 4 goals, tied with Reggie Leach and Bobby Clark for the most in the 4 games against the Senators. On the other side of the coin, Ottawa, Billington 0-3 with 5 goals against. Natalie 409 with his goals against. Dave McElwain with 5 points. Yashin and Dag before. Everyone else only scored a point. So yeah, not bad. Dave McElwain technically did have the most points for 4 games, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, Philly would have crushed Ottawa's hopes, and Mel Bridgman, the inaugural Senators GM, excuse me, rest in peace. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.